Hello, good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to our scientific class with Miss Shara. How are you today? Let me ask you a question. How is the weather today? Maybe you will say that it's rainy, sunny, snowy. Well, in our country, we have two different types of season, the summer and the rainy season. With these seasons, we can have different weather conditions. So we can have a cloudy day or a windy day. So you will think, what should I wear today? Can you look outside? If it's sunny, of course, you're going to wear clothes that is fitted for sunny weather. So, do I need an umbrella? Will we get a drizzle today? Knowing the weather is important for so many decisions we make. What kind of food we're going to eat, what kind of clothes we are going to wear. So knowing the weather every day is good for us. Now, do you know who this is? Yes, it's Kuya Kim. So we call Kuya Kim as a weather forecaster. He's telling us what type of weather we are going to have for a week. Also this one. Okay? In the news, we always have time for weather forecast. So weather lang yan. Knowing what the weather is outside is very important for farmers. The weather is important for planting crops. For airplane pilots or boat captains, the weather determines if they can fly or sail that day. For the rest of us, knowing the weather helps us to avoid wearing a bathing suit in the cold area or a hat and scarf in a 100-degree area. So at least if we are going to travel far and we know what type of weather they will have, then we can prepare. So these are the tasks of the weather forecaster. They will tell us what type of weather we are going to have. So our scientific classroom today presents weather instruments. So this is your second bridging program for grade 5. Okay, let us read our learning target for today. I can identify the different weather instruments and their uses. Just like mathematicians use special tools to measure objects, scientists use different instruments to measure all types of. So let's go and learn about the weather instruments or weather tools. First one is the weather thermometer. I know that you are familiar with the word thermometer. When you are sick or you have fever, your parents are using thermometer to get your body temperature. Nowadays that we have COVID, before we enter a mall or here in school before we enter, they are using a scanner. So that is also a thermometer that measures our body temperature. In weather, we also have a thermometer. We call that as weather thermometer. It measures air temperature. It is placed in a house-like container with opening in all sides. So you will look at the picture. It is attached outside to get what is the temperature of the weather. The second one is the anemometer. It measures how fast the wind is blowing. The harder the wind blows, the faster the cap spin. So anemometers are important tools for meteorologists who study weather patterns. They are also important to the work of physicists who study the way air moves. So how are you going to measure the weather here? You count the number of times the reference cap makes a complete revolution around the axis in a minute. So if you will see the cap moving, you will count how many times it turns in a minute. The next tool is barometer. It measures air pressure in millibars. The changes in air pressure signals the movement of high pressure areas of air. Have you ever felt a change in your ears or head right before a storm? If you are, then you are kind of a barometer. A barometer is used to measure the atmospheric or air pressure, which is the pressure that's felt from the weight of the air around you. Air pressure pushes down on the surface of the mercury. Look at that, making some rise up the tube. The greater the air pressure, the higher the mercury rises. Barometer measure air pressure in inches of mercury or in millibars. The weight of the air above you is called air pressure. Your barometer actually has two different hands or indicator. The black indicator hand always points to the current air pressure. The gold or constant hand can be set to match the current barometric pressure. This makes changes easy to see. So change to high pressure means good weather is on the way. If you look at the black hand going to the fair side, that means better weather is coming. And maybe it's our chance to play outside. And on this one, we can see that the black hand is going to the left. So change to low pressure means bad weather is on the way and we need to stay inside our house. The next tool is rain gauge. It measures the amount of rainfall and all other types of precipitation. It is placed in an open area. It is an instrument used by meteorologists and hydrologists to gather and measure the amount of liquid precipitation over an area in predefined period of time. Predefined means you give a time, so 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. So predefined period of time. So this is an example of a rain gauge. So look at the picture. What we have here is a 5-inch rain gauge. Very, very simple operation. It has sharp edge and the distance between this, okay, then measure 5 inches in diameter. So from here to here, it's 5 inches in diameter. Hence, the name 5-inch rain gauge. So this is the rain gauge. The guy dismantled the rain gauge so that you can see how it is made or how it works. So you see a while ago that there is a hole within and the rainfall drops into the sharp panel. Inside this is a glass. This one, the glass. And then the sharp panel is inserted inside the glass. So the water travels down this tube and is collected in this glass bottle. Okay, to get the accurate measurement, we need to use a graduated cylinder. Now, in order to measure the rainfall, all we do is get this bottle from this can. Okay, take the water from the bottle and pour it in the graduated cylinder. So when we look at the graduated cylinder, we look at this, it means that since the last time the rain gauge was checked, it collected 3.2 of rain falling at this rain gauge. So look at that measurement. Next is the wind vane. So this is the last tool that we are going to talk about today. Wind vane determines the direction of the wind. The arrow points in the direction from which the wind is blowing. Knowing the direction of the wind is an important part of predicting weather. because wind brings us our weather. A wind vane, also called as weather vane, is tool for measuring wind direction and was probably the first weather instrument ever used. Have you seen in the farm, or have you experienced going to the farm and see a wind vane on top of their houses or barn? To determine wind direction, a wind vane spins and points in the direction from which the wind is coming and generally has two parts, right? This one and this one. One that is usually shaped like an arrow and turns into the wind, and one that is wider. So this one catches the breeze. The arrow will point to the direction the wind is blowing from. So if it's pointing to the east, that means the wind is coming from the east. Additionally, wind directions is where the wind is blowing from. Therefore, a west wind is blowing from the west. So the east wind is blowing from the east. To use a wind vane, you must know where north, south, east, and west are. Wow! Wow, that was amazing. So those are the weather instruments. Meteorologists use a variety of specially designed instruments to help them predict and understand the weather. Talking about it helps us understand also how meteorologists use these instruments, including weather thermometers, barometers, anemometers, wind vanes, and the rain gauge. Weather instrument data provides insights into how the world's climate is changing. So thanks for stopping by and going on a weather tools tour with me. So once again, this is Miss Shara, okay, saying have a scientific day and thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you. Bye. I love you.